Good afternoon, everybody. It's time for the Friday update from Dave in his shed. I thought I'd start with something different. How good are these roses? Oh, they're magic. They look stunning at the moment. Very interesting for this time of year to have such stunning roses and that and bits and pieces. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see my weekly update about the flowers in the garden. But how about that? They're stunning. Okay, let's go into the shed. Quick visit fish. Cleaned out the filter this morning, put the new filter material in it. Yep, no dead carp, so must be okay. Have a look at this thing too, flowering. Oh, trip over the garden rail there. Do all my own stunts, people. If you see any tripping over or falling or face planting, that's me. Do all my own stunts. Oh, look at that. Isn't that anyway, people don't want to see your garden, don't they? They want to see your trains, they want to see your shed. So we're going to go and have a look at that. Let's go into the shed. Okay, first we thought we would start off by looking at the fiddle yard. Show you what I've done with the 3D printing. So these are the plastic spaces I made up. These are designed to use bits of old track that are floating around. Come on, we've all got heaps of this somewhere. No matter what gauge or scale we use, we've got bits of track. So these are designed to be they're 3D printed in the 3D printer. I strip off the rail and I slide them in. I've produced two sizes, and the reason why I've got two sizes is I'll show you here, because you line up. That's about the space I've got in this fiddle yard. One of those fits about your average ON30 loco size, what I use, and these then are about a couple of carriages size. So you can bring your train in and reshunt them into different things. I've only done these ones at this stage, but when I'm happy with the system, which I think I am, they are the ones we're going to run with. So hang on, just no gimbal or nothing. So if I pull these carriages over here, you can fit about one large passenger carriage or that. Now they use a system where the fish plates, I'll try this one, slide up and down the rail, and there's a gap. There's a gap moulded in the system, so the fish plate can slide in or out. So you can slide in fish plate as you join. So this is the spacer system that I made up. And I made it up in two sections so that it'll be easy to adjust, but I just made that up. I was going to make something out of timber. I thought, oh, I've got a 3D printer. I can do it more exact in the 3D printer, and I know it's going to print it exactly to measurement. If I cut something out of timber, 1 or 2 mil out, it's not going to be level, it's not going to be perfect. But this is perfect. All designed so the fish plates can slide in and out. Now, I had already built some timber cabinets, or timber cassettes here. I'm going to pause the video and move some things down the road. So, back with you, quick pause. So there is space here in the workshop when I finish tidying this section up. So it'll be a storage area for when things slide off and they stay in their little slides, they can go in here and get storage. So this is one of the timber cassettes that I made before, but what I've done is I have printed up a fitting that then retrofits into the timber ones, so I don't have to dodge it. So I can use my plastic slide system, or I can use these timber ones I built. And this is all out of material, old track and that, bits and pieces. And I'll show you the fittings I made up in a sec. But these little plastic inserts were printed up, once again printed so the fish plate will slide. A couple of little small timber screws screwed in, and then I can reuse the cabinets. Now everything slides on this big piece of metal. So you can slide, you can turn out, you can twist it around if you want to run it like a turned out. So I made up all these spaces, and we'll go in here. So this is recycled track, it's all the old bits and pieces. And these spaces I made up so that the system fits in to the storage cassettes. I'll show you them in a sec. So once again, they're just spaces, depending on track. See, on this, if I use this track, I don't have to strip the sleepers off, I can put it in. But those magic little pretty bits hold everything in alignment. Because keeping it all in alignment is what the system works. I can produce those plastic bits and screw them in. Everything is perfect in alignment. If I did it by hand, by eye, it wouldn't be good. So that's my sortie fiddle yard. And we'll have a look at, we'll move on to the next bit. I'll show you some of the plastic components that I printed. So these are on the workbench. The different colours just don't mean anything really, they're just the different machines. So I've done some with screw holes, some without holes or screws. You can just slide in. But the idea is they slide over the track like that, and you can recycle all these little tracks and keeps it inside the timber. Cassette is probably the correct word. So here is the end spaces that I printed up. Just a demo so you can see now. If you want to use my system, just give me a shout. I'll send you the STL files or that. Or you're really desperate and want to buy the print parts off me, let me know. I can probably print some up for you. But anyway, the easiest way is to just get the STLs off Dave and print it. Now, these cassettes that I made are just dressed all, called DAR timber, or dressed all round. They are timber spaces, just lengths of timber that you buy from Bunnings. I assemble it like that, so there's two sides glued on. One's, if you're really desperate, I can put the measurements online later. Let me know in the chat room, but we actually send you the things. So I made these up. So made them out of dressed all round DAR timber, so it's all nice and square and all nice and bits and pieces. And I don't have to worry about sanding or planing. It's just a matter of keeping them as straight as possible and gluing them together. And a bit of clamping. So they are my... I'm still working on the end cap. There will be an end cap to keep things in there so they don't slide off. I've been working on those. I've got some prototypes here. See, I've got some... These aren't perfect, but I've also working on an end cap system. So you can whack a cap on it so you can move the thing around without the rolling stock moving. So I've done all that. Okay. Oop. Pussycat telling me off about something. Yeah, okay. Oh, this printer. Tell you what. People say, Dave, and we've discussed it before, why do you have 4 printers? Well, out of the 4 freer on air, this one is down, the Y-Max sensor, which is the sensor that detects in the Y-axis, as in the forward and back on the plate, where it is, has failed. Now, when the machines play up, I normally go online, order the new sensors, order the new bits and pieces, have them sent over, pull the machine apart, put the new parts in and reassemble it. Well, looking in the tech manual for this particular printer, there's 4 different sensors they can use on the Y-Max. So I've got to fully disassemble it to find out which sensor it takes. Now, some of them are just micro switches, which I've got micro switches here to fit, which would be a couple of hours fix, soldering a new micro switch. Some of them use a fancy Hall detector system, which they use here on the X-axis. They use a Hall sensor. That sensor, if it needs replacing, is about $100. It's a quarter of the price of this machine. Now, $400 machine and a $100 sensor. So we hope that it's a micro switch version, or I can retrofit a micro switch in, because I really don't feel like spending $100 for a sensor to fix a $400 machine. I'm better off just using it for spares to keep the other one running. Really, anyway. So there you go, that's printing parts. Now, next thing I've been working on is, oh look, these are Puffin Billy Railway carriages. I started off by, look at this. First time I've done it, and so far successful. I haven't painted them up. Done my own bogies. Which is, well, the wheels are commercial wheels from KD, but the actual bogie side frames, and there's the proper Fox narrow gauge outline, did myself. Anyway, let's have a look at these cars. Now, just in perspective, to produce the vehicles I'm going to show you, this is how much. This box is full of the rubbish, the offcuts, the leftover bits, the waste material that has been used to produce these samples. But anyway, this is what I've been up to. This is the Puffin Billy passenger car. How's that? That's pretty Mickey Duck. This is their baggage car, ventilator car, it's a reefer type car. Not a reefer, no refrigeration, but an air type car. The guards vans, I think they're called NC. The top one is my sample. It's got a bit of an issue that I then reprinted the production sample because I had to make a few changes to the 3D file so it printed properly, but it's savable. I've just glued the section in, do a sand off. Probably use that car okay. These are now my chassis. Done all these, got them up to a stage where I'm happy with them and they work okay. They're ready to, like, we're going to paint and assemble them and test that. So this is what I call a pre-production sample. They might be perfect, but there's enough parts here to then see if I make any changes. I think I'm pretty close. So here are the bags. Now, Puff and Billy have a couple of overflow excursion cars that they built when they need extra passenger service, and it really is a flat car with seats in it. But this was my first passenger car, this passenger car over here, when I printed my first one, and it was stuffed up and errors, and you had to change the data file and do it again. I thought, hang on, that is savable. What I'm just going to do is convert it into a flat car, glued it on one of my chassis, and whack some seats in it, and did that. It looked okay. It looked so much okay that I thought, no, I'm actually going to do that as a proper print. So there it is. That's one of the cars I'm working on. It really is just a gondola car with seats in it. So that's what it is. So I'll do that up. These are some of the these are my first run of chassis. Now all of these to a degree have faults. So even though they look pretty good, if you look at the back of them, they're corrupted, and zoom in. They've got marks. They've got pots. Bits and pieces, so they might get used as scenic somewhere, so I'm not going to scrap those. But anyway, just want to see. So now, if you're interested in any of these cars, let me know. I can send you the STL files. I've got the STL files to do the bogies, I've got the STL files to do the decks, and I've got the STL files pretty much to print as you see of these. Now they're designed for an FDM printer like mine, which is on the Ender series. They won't go in the smaller machines and the flash forwards if you've got a small, unless you've got a flash forward rich. But if you want these files, hit me up, let me know. Like, subscribe, say, hey Dave, interested in such and such a car, let me know. And we'll get you the files out. Now look, they're not that flash, they're not posh, but they're good enough to do. They'll be pretty good. They're fun. So that's next week, apart from pulling apart an adventure free, stripping it down, seeing if we can repair the sensor in it, see if it's worth getting back on air. That's what I'm working on. I've got another project on the go as well. I'm not telling you what that is because it might be a big failure or it might be a big success for the person that I'm doing it for. So that's there are the projects that's been going on in the shed. Just to finish up, because I will prove that I have both the Ender machines running. Benny. There you go. Ender S31 Pro. No, it's not a Pro model. Well, actually it is now because I put the Pro in it. It doesn't have the fancy lights, but yeah. Ender S1 printing. This is a Ender 3 Pro with a couple of variations printing for those who want to know the specs. Incredible. Both of them working at the same time. Yeah. Both whacking out jobs for me. Anyway, that's it for this week. Don't forget, if you like this type of thing, like, subscribe. Hello, Pussycat. Tell the world what you think, Pussycat. Okay, yeah, fine. You know you shouldn't really be up there, but it's not worth fighting with. Hello. Okay. So, yeah, goodbye from Dave in the shed. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment. And if you're interested in any of these STL files, hit me up. If you're desperate and you want me to print some for you, let me know. We could probably do that. Anyway, bye for now. Hopefully chat to you next week. See ya from Dave in the shed.